Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Writer's Chat. We are so glad to have you with us, and we are really excited about today's topic where we're going to learn some of the extra little tips and tricks for using a program called BookBrush, which is absolutely fantastic for making graphics that include your covers, and it's so easy. I use it a lot. I use it every month, Kathleen.
That's what we love to hear.
I do, and I really appreciate the ease with which it helps me make those graphics for novel giveaways is basically what I use it for. So I'm Johnny Alexander. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Melissa Stroh and Brandy Bro, and our special guest, Kathleen. I want to tell you a little bit about her. She is the manager of marketing and customer service at BookBrush. She has over 20 years of marketing experience and has presented this amazing app how-to sessions for it to over 200 author groups. She thoroughly enjoys working with authors, and I can attest that is true, and helping them create eye-catching images and more with the BookBrush tools. She lives in Central Illinois with her husband, 3 busy boys, and 2 handsome cats. Her hobbies include, I love this, eating tacos and turning socks right side out. So, Kathleen, we're going to turn it over to you. And then, like I said, I think just before the recording started, that we will bring everybody back in. If you have questions about this program, Kathleen is here to answer them. So take it away.
Awesome. I am so excited to be here. I don't know if anybody else was crazy enough to get up at 4 a.m. and watch the lunar eclipse, but I did. So I'll prop my eyes open, and I went back to sleep for a little bit. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well, my boys, those 3 busy boys, 2 of them were wanting to do it. So we did it. So I'd love to have you tell me in the chat if you've used BookBrush before, if you're new to BookBrush. I recognize some people for sure, but I don't always know. And that way I'll be able to tell, where to start. And we're going to jump in and do lots of tips and tricks. And I like to open it up where you can ask questions as we go along. So feel free to put those in the chat, and then I'll rely on Johnny or Melissa to just jump in. And I mean this with love, butt right in. So you can butt in, and then we'll do those. So I'm going to do screen sharing because I think that's a powerful way to look at the tools, and we'll jump in. And then let me catch up on the chat. Okay, so we've got, let me scroll backwards here. Some people that are new, some that use it all the time. BookBrush fan, yay, using it today. And new, never used it. So we've got a little mix of things in here. So this is perfect. So I'll do a little background. And even if you're a solid BookBrush user, you might pick up some tips and tricks on some of those new things. And the background on BookBrush is, we built this platform specifically for authors. There are a lot of nice design tools out there, but they're not all designed specifically for authors. So every time you turn around in BookBrush, you'll find something that's author related, and we're always working on adding new things. I like spilling the beans sometimes. So we have something new, I think, launching tomorrow called the Reader Hub. So there's always new stuff coming along. So today we're going to jump in first to the Custom Creator. It's our flagship tool. It's the first thing we built, and it's an online platform. So those that are new, it's just bookbrush.com, nice and easy. And you can also sign up on there for free and create 15 images and download them. So I'll show you a little bit how that would work. And if you're interested, we'd love to have you come along and sign up. And then I do have a coupon code at the end. So if you are enjoying it and you decide you want to do BookBrush graphics, we would love to have you jump in. So I'm going to click on choose a tool to begin here, and we are going to go in the Custom Creator. So this is the part of the platform where you can create graphics for all different social media platforms. On the left, we'll look at different social media icons. So there's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube sizes, BookBub. And with each of these, you'll see underneath there's the graphic sizes with the dimensions in pixels. So you don't have to be scrambling out there or Googling, what size do I need? We have that solved for you. There's the vertical TikTok size, Amazon, and we'll come back because I'm going to make sure we talk about Amazon A+ content. Before we get to that, let me know in the chat if you are, if you've created A+ content, or if you're interested in doing so. I'd love to know. We've also partnered with a platform called Atticus. It's separate from BookBrush, and it's a online, or it's a formatting tool. And so you'll be formatting and doing things over there. The part that BookBrush partnered with is the graphics part. So our calling card across the board is great graphics. And in here, you can create the ornamental page breaks and image elements, chapter art that you need to upload into Atticus. All right. And Story Origin, that's another separate platform that we've partnered with. So people use Story Origin to do group promos. What you need from a graphics perspective would be those group promo banners, and you can create that lickety split here with the BookBrush tools. And then I was going to mention you can do cards like business cards, postcards, and under other, bookmarks, coasters, book plates. So we'll talk a little bit about swag here today too, because that's pretty awesome. And then under custom, no matter what project you're working on, if you need to create something, you can enter the dimensions in pixels and then create from there. So it's super flexible. Let me catch up on the questions. So some people are definitely interested in Amazon A+, so we'll talk about that. And Atticus. Okay, so we'll just talk a tiny bit more about Atticus. It's called Atticus.io, I think is their website. And we are not affiliated per se. They're a formatting tool for your book, but what people do is upload like some of the graphics for the ornamental page breaks, and those are the things that you can make in BookBrush. So we're the graphics side of the house. All right. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's say you wanted to start a graphic from scratch. You could choose a Facebook size. You'll click the Facebook one. And I'm choosing this just because it gives us a lot of room to work in here. And then you can create using the tools on the left in any order. So we have background, book template, text, images, and elements. I'm going to start with book template because I was mentioning BookBrush is specifically for authors. You'll see we have, I think now over 250 3D versions for your book. So if you've been wondering, where do people make these cool looking 3D images? It could be right here in BookBrush. You can put these in a graphic, or you can just download them as standalone. And because there's so many, you can actually filter. So what you'll see on the left, they're displayed with a sample book cover, and you'll put your book cover in. So let's click, there's physical book, for example. You'll see all of those options in there. Then we have a large number of ebooks as well. The ebooks are positioned so they face every which way in here. And there's a lot, so we'll scroll down. You'll notice that the physical books, for the most part, are positioned so you don't see the spine. That's because we want it to be really easy to bring your 2D cover in. However, we do have a spine section, and that's one of the new things that I wanted to point out, because people have always said, I do want to show my book with a spine. And so you can do that in here. We have phone options. So that's putting your book in a phone format. Audio options. Hands, which means there are hands attached to the book or the device. So those can be a way to create unique looking graphics and things like that. And then reveal. We have a really robust section of cover reveals. And then I'll also talk about creating your own cover reveals. So it seems like in BookBrush, every time you turn around, there's more than one way to do something. And we did it on purpose so that you can find the way that works for you. But I'll scroll through here. These are what you see is what you get. So you can't move what's there, but there's all kinds of cool things with rips and puzzle pieces and rocks and cool things like that. Again, people sometimes wonder, where do people get these cover reveal graphics? It doesn't have to be hard. You just click and put your 2D cover in. Go back to the top here. Under other, we have some cool options where you can put your book in a picture frame or a Polaroid picture. And then we also have what we call these computer screenshots. And so if you're thinking about marketing your whole self, it's not always just about your book. You may want to put in a picture, screenshot of your website, your Amazon page, your blog, your YouTube channel. So instead of putting your book cover in, you would just take a screenshot of the page that you want and plop it in here, and you can make it look like the whole world is looking at your website. I don't know if we have children's book authors in here, but we have options for that. Box sets you can do in our box set creator, so I'll skip that. Kindle Vella, let me know if anybody is doing Kindle Vella. These are a little bit different. If you're not familiar with it, it's a story episode format, and what they ask for the story image is a square with no text that they display as a circle. And so if you're wanting to promote that and you're doing Kindle Vella, then you've got these options here to market that, where it looks exactly like it would for somebody who's reading Kindle Vella. All right, let's see here. Another new option, and I'm pretty excited about these, multi-devices. So with one click, you get to put your book in several. That creates like a collage, lickety split. So we'll test those two. And then the with spine gives you this option here where there's actually a spine. So let's do a simple one. We'll go to ebook. I'll click the second one down on the left. And then yay for Melissa, she gave me her book cover. So we get to put this in here. So when you see this spinning, it means the magic is happening here in Book Brush land. And I really think it's faster when you're not streaming live. But what it's going to do is convert your book to this 3D version. So there it is. So that's a single version. You can single click to resize up here in the top stripe. My favorite way for resizing, because I like little shortcuts, and I'll toss in hidden gems today. Hold the shift key and drag the corner, and that keeps it in proportion, and you keep your aspect ratio. What I mean by that is if you drag just the side, ooh, it can get wonky. And you may want that every once in a while, but you probably don't. If it happens on accident, there's this nice undo button in the upper left corner. So you can just undo and you're all set. So you can also double click for more editing over here on the left. If you wanted to, for example, blur your cover or make it a little transparent, you can do fun things like that. So that's the single. We'll click back on book template and we'll do a multi-device. So I'll click the second one down on the right. And we'll put Melissa's book in 3 of these. And I see a comment about Kindle Vella. So it's Kindle Vella, and then Vellum is a different formatting platform. The Kindle Vella is with VLLA. All right, I'm going to delete this first one with the garbage can, and then we'll click on this one and we can resize here. Look how awesome that looks. You did a quick collage. That book is showing in multiple formats. It's a handy way to show your readers, ooh, look all the ways you can get my book without saying, look at all the ways you can get my book. So we love that multi-device option for folks. And then just as a sample, I'm going to show you how the spine works because it's a little bit different. We'll click with spine. And if you choose one here, we'll choose the third one down on the left. This has instructions. They're super easy, but you'll just follow the instructions here. You're needing 2 images because there's a spine and a front. So you'll see first there's spine, and you can get that by clicking in the spines tab over here on the left. So it defaults to covers, click into spines. If you have a spine, you can upload it. If you need to make one, you can do that in the box set creator. I've got some that I already made, so I'll just click on one here. And you can see it starts to fulfill this. So then you need to click your second image. You'll click the book cover. So from the spines tab, click next door to covers, and we'll click a cover. I don't have Melissa's spine, so I'm using one of ours for this example. But now you can quickly create the version that has the spine. So that's an option for you. And these are on all the paid plans, all the free plans, all of these different graphics are available to you. Okay, let me catch up here. For the free version, let's see. It says we mentioned you can do 15 images in the free version. Does it tell you when you run out? So what will happen is when you get ready to download, when you go to the top for download, there will be a little countdown that says 15. And when you actually download, it'll deduct the credit. Your credit card won't be in there. So it wouldn't start charging you. You would just be out of credits is what it would be. All right. So I'm going to delete this one. And we're going to use this one to make the rest of our graphic, and then I'll show you how the downloading would work. Once you do a paid plan, it's unlimited downloads. So the folks that are on a paid version won't see that countdown. That's just for folks who are giving us a test drive for free. So next we'll click for background on the left. And in the background step, you can search millions of free images. You can also upload your own. And then if you're just stuck for ideas, you can try these different, we rotate sample search topics. So right now, for example, we have Thanksgiving. We'll click see all. And you could look through here if you needed a fall image. These all source from Pixabay, so they're free for commercial use, but you can also double check that. In the image in the top right corner, there's a little oval. See with those 3 dots? You can click the hyperlink to the license and source. So it's going to pull ones free for commercial use, but it can just put your mind at ease if you want to see it for yourself. So we can try different fall images in here. Say you wanted this fall graphic. You could click the background. I like the blur idea. You can do all different kinds of things there. We will also do a search for sky. So we'll try this, or actually we could try horizon. Let's do that. So you can look through here and find all different cool things. We'll click and put this in here. Also with the background, you can flip it vertically, not so handy, but horizontally is nice because depending how your book would show, like there's this really neat sunburst. I might move my book so that that's coming out and you can resize. I play with this a lot. We've gotten complaints. This is so much fun. People spend so much time in here doing graphics. They forgot to get back to writing, but it can be really fun. So what I would maybe do with this background then is do a bit of a blur. And I also wanted to talk about when you are playing in here, you can do a color behind, adjust transparency, and then I'm going to click through different colors. See how it changes the look and feel of this graphic? Just by changing the color. And then we'll also talk about color picker. So I'm in Chrome and this works on really any browser except I think Firefox, but you see there's like an existing circle here and a little tiny eyedropper. So on the left, this green circle, click the eyedropper. When you come over here, whatever's in the center, it's going to match that color code perfectly. So you can really have a lot of on-brand graphics, even if you don't know your color code. And then you could just adjust this transparency to your liking. So lots of fun things that you can do with these graphics so that you create personalized images to promote your books and you come off looking like a professional because we've got all these tools here for you. So let's see. Let me catch up. I'm not keeping up on the comments. So Melissa and Johnny, just tell me if there's anything here.
We did have another question about the downloads, and I'm just going to read this. Does download include the 3 I always do when I get it full screen and realize something is not correct? So I fix and re-download in smiley face. In other words, is it counting download or project?
It counts it when you actually click download. Mm-hmm. So, but listen, if you have an oopsie, send us a note into our email is support@bookbrush.com if you want to add that into the chat for me. And then you can also contact us up here in the upper right. There's a little help button. And if that's you, you can click it. And there's searches, but you can also do contact us and you can choose the type of question you have. And so just tell us, we'll replenish that credit for you. So I've had people who just click download accidentally, too many times. They got 3 copies of the same graphic. And so we can just bump those credits back up. So don't feel like you squandered a download. If you want it back, we can do that.
That's really sweet. And I haven't had to ask for help very often, but I think in the early days I did a couple of times. And I will tell you, it was the email. Email response was really quick, very helpful, very kind. So they are a great, great company as far as customer service. You feel very personal. You feel like you're just, it doesn't seem like you're just a number to them. So that's
we love hearing that because we really strive to get, be timely and give a helpful, good answer, really answer the question, not just kind of some, like, oh, click here and people are still feeling lost. So we'll really try to help you.
So otherwise it's just a lot of wow comments. I mean, like this feature you just showed us about the color matching, that is like mind boggling that you can just do that. And that background looks just so much like Melissa's cover background. I am blown away by that. That's cool.
And it's cool because I didn't even practice that. Like I just got the book cover here in the last day or so, and I'm planning to work with it. So it's not like I planned it out for days, like, oh, I'll find the perfect image. You can make a lot of images work, which is exciting.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll keep rolling along. Are we up to date on questions?
Yes, just a lot of great, like the cool comments, things that people want to learn about. So this is fun.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll just look at a couple more things over here. So we'll talk about text. You probably want to add a text box, so you can add your text box. And so I'm going to put riveting. Oops, if I could spell it right. You'll have more of your quote when it's your book, and things that are personal. And then you can single click for quick editing in the top gray stripe. You can double click. Really, anytime you double click an element or anything in here, it opens up the full editing on the left, which is what I like to see. I like to see all the things. So you'll see at the top section is the text itself. At the bottom, you can also do text background if you want a background on your text box. But I want to do a little talking about font. So you'll come into the font area, and when you're new, you'll see default fonts, and there are a lot of great default fonts. They're all displayed here in the way that they're going to look on the screen. But then I also want to talk about add more fonts at the top. When you click add more fonts, you have access to 1,000 different fonts. These are Google fonts, free for commercial use, but it can help you find ones that might really suit you and your project. You can filter by serif, sans serif, and so forth. And then you can also switch your sort here to name. So if you are after a certain font, the name, you can go quickly through here. Now, admittedly, if your font is starts with B or C, it's going to be a quicker process. If you're trying to get all the way to W, it's going to be a little bit, but you'll just click through. And if you see one you want to use, just click and check mark next to it, and then it will add it to your list. That's on the free and the paid plans. There is an extra paid feature here on the right, where you can upload your own custom font. So if you purchased a font that's on your book cover and then you want to match it in your graphics, you could upload it there. So that's kind of nice. And then while we're talking about font, I really want to share this blog post with you. So I'm going to click over to this, and then I'll put it in the chat as well. So this is one of our BookBrush blog posts, and it's one of my favorites. We have typography tips for graphics, which are nice, but why I'm bringing this up is there are over 35 font pairings. This is super important because if you don't have a font in mind, we want to help you in the right direction for a font that gives off the right vibe for your genre. So if you're doing a graphic for romance fonts or romance book, take a peek at the romance font pairings. These are ones that go nicely together and will also give off that vibe for romance. And so here's some other ones. Mystery. And then you got the blog post, so I'll go kind of speedy, but there are some nice choices in here. Fantasy, historical, sci-fi, horror, children's, and then holiday font pairings. These were the font pairings for 2021. And then on the last Friday of the month, usually we post a new font pairing. And so that's in our Facebook group. You can join us there. It's just called BookBrush. And then you can also follow us on Instagram. We post it there. On Instagram, we're called at BookBrush for Authors. And the font pairings are really popular because it just gives you a nice way to look at these things. And then if you see one you like, you can most likely find it in the add more fonts area and add it to your list. So the one that we just clicked here is under just added fonts. So it'll be under just added fonts the first time. And when you come back in tomorrow, it'll be under your saved fonts. So it'll be there for you to use. It's just a handy way to get fonts that really work for you and your genre and your book.
Can you see the font pairings when you are on the free version?
The font pairings are actually in a blog post. Anybody can read it. So those are, even if you don't come to BookBrush, you can check out those font pairings and use them wherever you would like to. And so just click on that blog post in there, or you guys will have it in the chat. And then I don't know where else you would want to share it, but you're welcome to all peep those font pairings. I love them. All right, so let's see here. So we'll leave that for now and just kind of quickly talk about two more things on the left. We have images. and elements. So images, these, you'll see 3 tabs in here. These are ones that we put in. The community stamps are for everybody to use. So like under retailer, for example, you see available at Amazon. You can even click more from Amazon, and I'll click both. I'll click 2 of these. So depending on the background that you've chosen, you might want to decide which one of these might work better. You can double click to resize. You can also do the same where you grab the side and resize, so you can add those to the graphic. Feel free to look through here. This is really another gold mine. Tons of cool decorative things. I just posted on our YouTube channel, and I'll make sure to give you the link for that too. A little video on these color blurs. They're super cool. So if you wanted to add, let's say, I'm going to add this, a bit of darkness, across the bottom, you can layer any elements here with this little arrow. So you're going to go behind, and I'll leave it up here so you can see it goes behind the text, and then it goes behind the book. Now we can go ahead and make it even larger, and we'll bring it down. So if you need a little bit of shadowing, I use it a lot for fantasy. If you've got like a pink or a purple coming up, you can add those to give just some accents to your graphic. You can also adjust transparency. So here it is with none, and here's just a little bit. So feel free to try those color blurs. Those are for everybody to use, just as an example in there. Cool things under effects. Maybe you need some smoke. You could do that. I think we have some blood splatters in the elements, so we try to come up with lots of cool things. So those are for everybody. My images, you can bring in your own things, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then searchable, you can also search another 100,000 images, both stock and vector. So no matter what you need, I think you'll be able to find it. And then if you can't, you can also upload your own. So those are the images. And then we'll go down on the left to elements. This is a little bit newer option in here, and it's a really cool way to, these all can color pick and add things. So you've got shapes, blobs. This is also where you'll find if you want to do your own cover reveal. So we'll come back to add a plain book. We'll just add an ebook here. I'm going to add it on top of here and just show you. If you want to do your own, takes a minute for it to load here. Then we'll hop back into the elements, and I'll show you. So let's say we had this. We'll go to elements, do the cover reveals. I can pick this. I get to pick where it goes. I can resize it if I need to, so you can adjust that. And then again, you can color pick. So I'm going to double click, use that eyedropper, and maybe you want this rich green of this dress. That's pretty cool. And you could layer those. Maybe you don't want the title to show. Maybe you don't want this. You could have several of them. So if you're wanting to create where you're in charge of what shows, give these elements in here a try. You could also then adjust transparency as a way to do color, a little bit different type of cover reveal. So lots of fun things in elements. I'm going to delete these two. And then we'll talk about I'm going to do shape, and we'll click this square here. I'm going to make it really big. And we're going to bring it down here. We're going to color pick. We'll choose that light color in here. Now, check how we're going to do a border. We're going to click over here on the left in that little circle that says toggle for an outline. And it gives you just the outline. So it's a really neat way to frame things. And this is just an element, and you can unclick, you can change that, and then you can also adjust the thickness of that border if you want that kind of a look. So check out those things in elements. And then we'll also talk about, this is where you can create a QR code, and that's something new that is on a paid plan. But if you want to do a QR code on graphics, like on a bookmark or something like that, if you're doing swag, you would just paste in your URL, click generate, and it will make the QR code for you. So free to do it as long as you're on a paid plan. So any questions on what we've done so far here? I'm going to delete the outline, and we'll just use this part. I'm going to save it as a project in the top stripe. This does not count as a download. This just saves it so you can come back and work on it later. And then you would download. PNG, JPEG, or PDF.
That outline was amazing. That was really cool. Love that.
Good.
We did have a question.
Sure.
Paula asked if you could explain what the difference is between a stock and a vector image.
I'll do it visually because I think that's easier. So when you're in here, we'll go to, oops, that's probably more under images, sorry. So let's try a pumpkin, for example. If you search a pumpkin, the vector ones, for lack of a better term, look a little more cartoonish, and stock images are the ones that look more like photos. So there are a bit of cartoony ones, but stock images tend to be like the real things. Let's try something else like sky. So if you do,
there's something else about stock images and vectors. Vector images is a different type of graphic. So a vector image is rescalable and doesn't lose its crispness, whereas a stock image is more of I think a pixel image, and that as it gets bigger and bigger, it can get pixelated. So that's the main difference between the two different types of graphics.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I usually just share like they look different. And I know people are sometimes looking for, especially if you're doing cozies and things like that, some of these vector type. But that it's definitely awesome to share. All right. Thank you guys so much. Anything else to catch up on here?
I think we're good.
All right, I'm going to show you one other little tip here. This was Facebook size. People often want to keep the same look and feel across multiple platforms. So you can just click back to the left for ad size. And then let's say you also wanted something similar for Instagram. Just choose Instagram. Now everything is still here. There's what we call in the lower right corner. It's like an eye icon, like an eyeball. And you can see what's outside the area. So all I'm going to do is just resize these things into the new space. I'm going to hold shift on this one and scoot everything in. And you could make that text larger if you want to. But anyway, now we just created a graphic with the same elements. So it has the same look and feel, but now it's square for Instagram. And then you can download. So in this case, that's each going to be a separate download. But on the paid plans, those are unlimited, but you can then flood social media with coordinating graphics, but you didn't have to start from scratch. So that's a nice little shortcut. And then you can come back and you can do Pinterest and the other ones as well. So any questions on that before we look at more things?
We did a question that goes back to the QR codes. Do you partner with a print service so people can make bookmarks with the QR codes and print them?
We don't have any like affiliate print services, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to 20 books next week, and I just made coasters in here, and I sent them to a place called an online site called Sticker Mule, and they look amazing. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. So I can definitely say Sticker Mule, and I know people also use Vistaprint. So those are two examples that I have.
Is that like just stickermule.com? Is that?
Yep. Let me show you here really quick.
Okay, thanks.
Because it sounds funny, but it's really pretty cool here.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So this was what it was. And you can go to products and they have stickers, of course. You can do magnets. And I went to more and I did these custom coasters. And so I made my graphic in BookBrush. So for example, I went to other. And I did this coaster, and since it's going to print as a circle, there's this little dotted line to give you an idea. So like maybe you need coasters, Melissa. We could put this in the center. I would just download this, and then I could hop back over on Sticker Mule. Like I did it pretty speedy. And then when you go to continue, there was like a place to upload your thing, and you could just upload the graphic that you just downloaded from BookBrush. So it's not part of BookBrush, but I found it pretty quick and easy. All right, so good question. And that kind of touches on the swag. The book plates, for example, you could do send those like as a sticker, those kinds of things all could be done. And then bookmarks, you could even print yourself if you want to, or send them to a printer like that. All right, I think the next thing I want to go to is the Amazon A+, but see if there's any other questions in here before we move.
Unless I missed something, I don't. Oh, yes, Tina, is Sticker Mule fast? She's used half price banners and next day flyers, and you do have to check on prices and turnaround time for different items. So that was more of a comment, but a question: how quickly did they?
I was impressed. So, I should have ordered them sooner and I didn't pay any extra for the shipping. And I ordered some on Tuesday and I think I had them on Saturday and they weren't even supposed to get here till like this week. So I was pretty impressed and I have more coming in today because then I was excited and I ordered more. So I thought it was pretty timely and I didn't pay like an exorbitant shipping fee or anything.
Great.
All right, so let's talk about Amazon A+. I'm going to click over and I'm going to put this into the chat for you all. This is the Amazon example page. So when you're learning or talking about Amazon A+, they've got a lot of nice examples for you. This was probably in midsummer of 2021 where they gave access to individuals who have access to their KDP dashboard to be able to do this. Before it was publishers that could do it. So the thing that people really like and seem to really want to do is this cool 3-piece stackable graphic. And it's free to do. You just need to know where to make those 3 images that stack. Then you can upload it on your page on Amazon. It's cool because it can keep people on your page longer. And right now it can make you stand out. As more and more people do it, it can also help you fit in. So I think it's win-win. You can do this for free and then obviously on paid in BookBrush as well. So this is the one that people were really wanting to do. And we scrambled to have a solution because it seemed like on a lot of platforms, marketing or design tools, you'd have to make each one individually. And it was hard to line things up. So I'm going to come over here. We're just going to go to home and we'll start fresh here. We'll go back into custom creator and then we'll click on the Amazon icon. So you can see there are a number of different modules that they offer, but the one that we really talk about the most is this Amazon stacked. So you have these 3 images. So same thing in Amazon where you saw those 3, you're going to build those 3 together. So let's just go to background. I'm going to search couple. A lot of times they do have people. You can upload your own images. So if you have access to maybe the people on your cover or you purchase other images of them, you can use those. But we'll just look at something here. Let's see what this one is. I wanted people. Hang on. Let's try. We'll try these 2. Love birds here. So I'm going to make this graphic a little larger. You can move it around in here. You can see where those 3 or those lines are. So you'll have those dotted lines. I just watched. So like you don't have the edge of their nose or something odd on that line. And then you can go ahead and add your text and things. So you could come into text. Great romance. Whoops. And I'm going to go to edit. I remember that Montserrat is one of the romance font pairings. If word wraps, you'll just grab your text box and you can manipulate it this way so that it's not doing the word wrapping. We can color pick. So let's say we wanted this brown of the suit, and look in here, there's a lot of different shades of brown. So you'll be able to pick and choose. This one has a text shadow, it defaults with a bit, but you can adjust that. So your sliders here, and you can also change the text shadow to, we'll just do something crazy so you can see if for some reason you wanted this crazy green, but you can do that if you want a different text shadow. And then if you're wanting some variety, I like this idea. There's a plus button. I'll move this up so you can tell it's part of the text box. Click plus, it's going to duplicate it. And so you can stack for a little bit of extra depth. Or you can use the second one. We're just going to put in the country. So we'll have this as like a secondary line and we'll make it a little bit smaller. So you can add a second text box. So you get that bit in there. And then you're all set. Now you can add, some people put thumbnails of their books in the bottom one. You could also take this, this might be a neat one to do a tiny bit of blur. So it gives you the idea, but it's not, it's a little more subtle. So try that. You can blur a lot. You can blur a little if you want to. You could do the color behind it if you want to, but let me go ahead and show you. We're going to download this one. So this counts as one download. If you're on free, it's going to be a zip file with the 3 of them in there. And then you'll just extract and you're all set then. Here you don't see the lines, but click save to your computer. And then I'll show you how it would work. Then you've got those 3 images and you can just hop over to your KDP dashboard. So it's in the lower left corner. Click that, click extract all because it's zipped. And you'll extract the images. And here they are. It started in the middle, but you get the idea. So there's your bottom one and the top piece. So quick and easy to do. If you were intimidated by the Amazon A+ and not sure how to do it, that's an easy way to get those 3 graphics, the stackable ones, and they look really cool. All right, any questions on anything there? All right, I have a couple things to show you for animation, so we're going to jump in and do that. These are, and actually, this is all community templates. So this is a great time to talk about this. I'm going to click on the left for templates and projects. The first tab is my projects. These are the things that we saved today. And so in your account, you'll just see the things that you've saved. Next, we're clicking on community templates. So much great stuff in here. We add new things every month. If you're not sure where to start, these give you a really great template. I can't say enough good things about how these will make you look good. So you can give these a try. You can filter on the left by genre if you want to, and it could be multiple if you need romance and fantasy. You know, you could try both of those. You can also filter by platform, and I really want you to. So there's stuff that you haven't even thought about in here. Of course, we have Facebook ads, BookBub ads, newsletter, and these are not for your newsletter. These are ones encouraging people to, hey, join my newsletter. So if you need ideas for that, let's see here. Ideas for visiting your website, your blog, and these, you edit these all yourself, however you want. Samples for business cards. So lots of great things in here if you need to update your author business card. This is something you can design in BookBrush, and then you probably send to a printer as well. Bookmark templates. And then this is where you can put that QR code. That's a nice idea because the QR code would go on printed items. You don't, your kind of your litmus test on that is if they're going to be looking at it on their phone, they wouldn't be able to scan it with their phone. So you would want to put the QR code on things often that you're printing. So I put a QR code on some of my coasters, for example, so I can hand them out and people can scan. We also have email headers in here. And then keep scrolling, lots of good stuff. Kindle Vella. So here are more examples of Kindle Vella, and most of these have the verbiage about a new episode because it's in a story episode format. A whole section on launch party. So if you have a book coming out, this can be a great place to just use as a starting point. You can change anything that's in here. So if you like the graphic, but you don't want that particular cover reveal, let me click on one here. If you like this one, you'll just swap and put in your cover. But if that particular cover reveal isn't the one that you want, you can just delete it and then come over here to reveal and choose anything you want. So you can put in a different one. So personalize these however you want. Click on the text, click on, we'll make that bigger for sure. Click on the font, all of those things. So it's just simply a starting point to get your creative juices flowing, and then you'll make it yours. So let's go back into community templates here. Book plates, I wanted to make sure we talk about. They're super simple to do, and they can be nice because you can personalize that book for the price of a stamp. So you're not having to maybe ship the book, but you could mail out these book plates or take them to a in-person event. And then a new section here called giveaways and contests. So if you have a promo coming up and you need inspiration for a graphic, we'll click that. Literally all you would have to do is swap in and then you're set, but you can change anything else there. So these are really popular just because they give you great looking graphics that are put together by a designer, but you didn't have to come up with all the design ideas. And you'll see in there, let's do, so many have extra little things that, let me go back to here. So you're benefiting from the designer's knowledge of, look at this, this has a color blur. It totally needs the color blur. If you don't have that, it's hard to see that stuff. You might not have known to put that in there, but our team did, so that all you have to do is just pop your book in there, change the wording if you want to, but it's quick and easy to have designer looking graphics. Also in community templates, I was going to point out, we've added under collections, a just added feature. So if you're like me and you always want to see what's new, you can click there. And they stay with a new banner, I think, for 30 to 60 days. So right now it's pretty heavy on some of the holiday things, and it rotates through the year, but you'll see cool things in there. So check out Just Added if you're wanting to see what we've most recently put in. Now, the other things, and these, everything we looked at so far is for free. Some paid items are these animated mock-ups, and holy smokes, these are popular. So people like these because they combine animation, video background, and music and your book in one handy meme. So let's go through here. This is one of my favorites. So we'll click swap covers. And then these, because they have animation and music and video background, they have a play button in the top stripe. So we'll, once the book's in there, I'll push play, and then let me know in the chat if you can hear it. Boom, down and dirty, 12 seconds, and you're gonna look so cool. You can, these are sized, these vertical ones for TikTok, Instagram Reels, and it's so easy to put your book in there and you look really techie and you have cool looking things. You can change everything about this except the music. So what you hear is what you get, but you can click on the text. At a very minimum, I would probably come over here and color pick, so it's like a similar coordinating color, but you can change all the other things. Now, this was vertical. When you download, these are an MP4, but then you could also come to add size and say, you know what, I wanted to do a square version, and then just resize your items in here and reposition, and then you can make it other sizes. So they're pretty versatile and easy to edit. Let's do a couple other ones in there, just because these are so fun. We just had some new Christmas ones, so I'm going to look for those. I think we add 5 new ones per month on these. And you can go ahead and click on one and play it without having to put your book in. So if you're wanting to hear what the music is and stuff, go to the end. Well, let me do it under just added. That would probably be easier. So this is not just animated, but this will be a quick way to get to them. There's a question while I'm looking for this one. This is the one I wanted. You can also change the type of animation. So let me play what's here to start with. Okay, so click on this text, for example, and you can come down to the bottom left of the editing area, and you'll see it's set to zoom out, and the timing of it, which means it's not actually zooming out, it's an outward zoom, if that makes sense. And the animation settings down here are a 2-second delay and a 4-second duration. You can change that. So you could, of course, you can change this. If you're not doing a sale, just say, hey, this book is a great Christmas gift. It doesn't have to be on sale. You could also change the font if you did want a different one, all those different things. So, and you could, this book is not currently animated. You could add an animation, and I'll just show you. If you go to see all 100 animations, there's a lot of nice stuff. So you have attention grabbers, entrances, which pair with exits. So you could even have the book fade in and then fade out, left or right, those kinds of things. But maybe we just want the book to fade in. So now that we've added that, we'll go again. So it happened right at the beginning, but it fades in. You can add animation to each element in there, and you can do them on the other community templates. And it's super cool and fun to do. I'm just cautioning you, don't animate every single thing or you'll give those readers a seizure. So pick like your key things you're going to animate and then do it that way so that it's not like way too busy and too many things happening. But these are the animated mock-ups, and they're just really popular because they can make you look really great. Your books look nice and you look like you've got some great graphics, and they're not hard to do. You just substitute your book in and make some small changes if you want to. All right. Along these lines for animation, I next want to talk about animated email signatures. So we'll come in here, and there's animated email signatures. So I'm going to tell you something that's not actually a secret. Authors email readers to sell books. Like, we know that. If you can make your email stand out with a cool email signature, that can just up your game. So I'll show you how this looks in here. We'll push play in the top stripe. No sound on these. These are just the animation, but they're all put together for you. And you would just simply click here, author name. We'll pretend it's me. And you can pick, if you have a branded font or something that works for you, of course, you can change the color, the size. We haven't talked about letter spacing here, so you can make it more compact or stretch it out if you want to. You'll just do swapping for your books. We're going to partner, Melissa. My name, your book here. Nobody sees it but us. So we'll put that in there. And then the next thing I want to talk about is this picture. This is not a picture of me or Melissa or really anybody I know. So what we can do is delete him. And I'll show you how easy it is to bring yourself in here. You can do this in images, in the My Images tab. And I'm already in here, but I want you to see the whole process. So we'll make this a little smaller. And I'm going to, oops, I think I am. I'm going to bring this from my desktop. So I have a picture of me. Here we go. So it's coming in with drag and drop. And then we're going to talk about background removal. So for those of you who use BookBrush, let me know if you've tried background removal. It's pretty cool. So I've got the thumbnail in here. Click the 3 little dots in the upper right corner. Click remove background. So it's going to use artificial intelligence to peel the background away. So it's a picture of just me. It works on a person, an animal, a product, or a vehicle. It's super cool. And easy to do. There are other ways to do this, like out in the world, and they're hard. So, or time consuming. So I'll click on this. I'm in the account as an image, which means you can add filters to lighten it up. I can resize. You'll remember we can layer. So you'll use these 2 little arrows and it moves 1 element at a time. So we've got a lot of things on here. It's going to go behind the text. Next, it goes behind here. And then what we need, if I want animation, is to add animation. So in the editing tools down on the left, click add animation. And what I would probably do is just fade in down, and you can adjust it so I could have a 2-second delay on that, and then it'll take me 3 seconds to fade in. So here we go. Very cool. So these download as an MP4. And then I'm going to show you our YouTube channel. This is kind of helpful. We have on here, and I'll paste it in here, lots of great stuff in my opinion. But what I wanted to talk about were the playlists in here. There is a playlist on animated email signatures, and this helps you get your animated email signature from BookBrush to, to the particular platforms. So Gmail, MailChimp, MailerLite, and Microsoft Outlook, like a little 2 to 3 minute tutorial there. So follow those, subscribe to us on YouTube. We post tips and things each week with different ideas and things for you, like the color blur, for example. That was what we posted last week. They're usually just like a little bite-sized nugget of something that we think will help make your BookBrush life a little easier. There's a question about Thunderbird. These should work on really any platform. Before we did the videos, we did a poll with our users, and these were the top 4 that people were using. But it will, you can use them anywhere that will take an MP4. And then I also wanted to mention in here, you don't embed a link. The link to buy, you'll add when you add it to your email platform, and you can choose. So you can link it to Amazon or to your website or wherever you want to send them. So those are the animated email signatures. Animation for the mockups and anything like this are all on a paid plan. And then this background removal feature is on our top plan for Platinum included, but you can buy it on any paid plan. So if you need background removal, it's kind of a one-stop shop. It's fun and easy to do. And you know, for if you need it for animals, those kinds of things, it works really well too. All right, I think I made it through all the things here, and we are almost at the top of the hour. I have a coupon code, and I'm happy to take questions. I could do this all day, but I know we only have so long. So let me know what else people might want to see.
I was going to ask if you could just do instant mockups just really quick, because I know that's what brought me to BookBrush to begin with, and it's so helpful.
Yes, absolutely.
So much, I mean, I've played around, but not to this extent. And now it's like I want to spend the rest of the day doing nothing. But
I'm pretty sure your day is sorted now, right? So now we know what you're going to have to do. So I'm glad you asked, because instant mockups weren't necessarily new, so I didn't have them on the list, but they are a wow factor and our most popular tool. So when you come in here and you're new, we were looking at choose a tool to begin, and we went to custom creator. You can also pop into instant mockups. These are what people call flat lays, all those kinds of things. We have over 3,000 now, and you literally just drop your book in these these images. So put your book in real life scenes. When you see people sharing their book on social media in these scenes, chances are they did not set this up in their kitchen or bedroom or anything like that. So we'll do a sample set. We'll choose the book here in step 1. In step 2, you can do filtering. We can click new. For those that are on the free plan, there's a keyword for free, so you'll be able to do some of those. And I'm just clicking some of these with the star or the platinum, which is the top plan. And I'm really a sucker for these fall themed images. I'm not holding shift or anything. I'm just clicking and it's outlining here. And I'll scroll so you can see how many, there's lots of great things. They're suitable really for any genre. And there's a lot of variety. I'm going to go ahead and click step 4, convert now at the bottom, so you can see how this will work. They do take about 4 seconds per image to download. So we would mention, like, don't do 200 if you're in a time crunch. And these are going to download in a handy zip file. And then they're ready to go right to social media. They're really great.
I think the first time I did it, and this was, back when it was just getting started, I would do all the images, and then I just had all these all these images, and of course I was never going to use. So learning how to just pick the ones I truly mostly wanted was a good thing.
Well, I guess, there's no limit. You could have all kinds of cool things, but then you got to sort through them all. Exactly. So I'm going to do extract to all here. And we'll click through. So here's the first one. Actually, this looks really cool with that too. So Melissa, you just have a photogenic book, I think is what it is.
So good to hear.
Yeah. So anyway, there's all those different graphics. We just did a quick handful of them. They're super popular because they're so quick and easy. But the thing that the feedback we had from authors is they would really like to see their book in the image before they download and maybe do some light editing. So this is the original Instant Mockups or the legacy version. And then we added an Instant Mockups 2.0, which is like Instant Mockups on steroids. So I'll show you that too. It's in this peach colored stripe up here. And as we talk about the plans, we have plus, gold, and platinum. These are on the gold plan and higher. So in here, we'll do a new project. This lets you view your book in here before you download it, and you can make changes. I also really like in the lower left corner, we have some collections. These can help you like very quickly create a lot of cool things. So I'm going to click on this Thanksgiving bundle here. And then you click for book on the left, and guess which book we're going to choose. Here we go. And what it's doing is populating your book in all of these before you download. So it's a nice little shortcut here to see. And then if there's one that you don't want, you can just discard it. So let's say we don't want this one with these decorative pumpkin dudes. there's a little garbage can above it, and you can just say, yep, I'm going to remove that one. So then you're not like in the same boat Johnny had with like oodles to choose from. You can go ahead and delete them here before you would download. You can do bulk editing and individual editing. So let's say on this top one, if you wanted to edit something, you click the little pencil at the top right above it, and it takes you into like a modified version of the custom creator. So you can change, like if you actually wanted this to be a cover reveal, you could delete it, and you could come over to book template and choose something different. You can also change the font if you want to, or change the wording, or maybe it's not a deal. Maybe you just want it to say, gobble up this book, and that's okay. So you could change that. I'm going to make this larger here. We'll click on that, and I'm going to change this to book. And then if you're satisfied with that, I kind of liked how that turkey was overlapping. So we just need to send that behind. And then the top stripe, click save and go back. So this one has now got a little lock on top. So if you make other changes, this one won't be impacted since you already did it. Let me also talk about the bulk editing. On the left here, you've got primary font, for example. So if you have a font that's branded for you that you always like to use, I'm going to come in here and I like, oh gosh, there's so many good choices. Let's do this Mountains of Christmas just because it's really obvious to see. When you click that, every one of these that was tagged as a primary font just changed to Mountains of Christmas. So you quickly have 30 plus graphics that are on brand for you with your particular font. You can move it around a little bit here or click the pencil on each one to do additional editing. So it's kind of a quick and neat way to do lots of graphics at once. So this is the Instant Mockups 2.0. These also download in the zip file. So any questions on these?
Yeah, there was, well, not exactly on those, but well, let's go back to Jill's question. Backgrounds for children's books with kids in the pictures. And I know you do have like those dimensions for children's books. I've seen those. And then Yvonne asked, while you're searching for that, if an author has more than one book, each book is counted as a separate download, right? And I think that is correct.
It's in the image. So if you put 3 books in an image, that's just one download. But if you were downloading like a 3D version of it, each one you download is by itself. But if you, hopefully I'm describing this okay. Whatever you put in the image, you can put all kinds of things in there, and it's just one thing downloaded. That would just be 1 credit. All right, in the keywords here, I'm going to choose children just as an example. And this is some with children or children's books, like more childish themes here. So there's some examples here. This is just Instant Mockups. You can also find these in the custom creator. And of course, you can choose your own background. So if you want to Google for a background like playground or something, any kind of word that suits what your book is about, then you can pick things there too. But here are ones that are categorized in the Instant Mockups area as children's. And keep in mind, if you like the graphic, since you can edit these, you can probably change out what's there, or you can also create something similar in the custom creator where you're in charge of all the things. So lots of flexibility in there. And then let me know if that answered the question on your downloads, so you're clear.
All right. Well, we are getting to the top of the hour. This has been absolutely fabulous. So let me
do the coupon code for you really quick. I hid it in the custom creator. That way we have it for anybody who wants to sign up. And then I'll give it back to you. So I did a code and it's chat 15. So it'll be 15% off. It's a lifetime discount on any new paid plan or upgrade. So like, for example, if you already have a plus or a gold and you want to step up to platinum, then you can use it for that, or you can use it for a new plan. And then I just got excited today. And so I added in, if anybody uses it within 24 hours, I'm also going to do 5 free background removal credits, which are the thing we did with a picture of me in that animated email signature. Also, if somebody has an existing BookBrush plan and doesn't need to upgrade today, send me a note, and it's that support@bookbrush.com, and I will give you these 5 free background removal credits too.
Nice. That is very helpful. Thank you so much. Tina has a question. If we upgrade to platinum and decide to go back, will we, oh, I'm losing your question. Will we lose our discount on the previous level?
So what it'll do for today, or when you upgrade, it'll do the prorated amount for the rest of your year. So let's say you've got 5 months left, then it would automatically renew at the 15% off at your renewal. But if you want to step back, then send us a note and we can manually help you. I don't want you to lose a discount just because you gave platinum a try and then you find out your gold suits you better. So we can make it work for you, but it might be a manual interaction with our support team.
All right.
But we can make it happen for you.
Yeah. And again, the support team is really, really great and very, very helpful. Pam said that she and technology don't play very well together, but she's very interested and loves all these ideas. And I just wanted to say again, start with the instant mock-ups. I mean, because if you do that, you can't go wrong. I mean, you just put your book cover in there and there you are. And then that's got me into it. And then I started doing custom creation. And now I want to do the Amazon Plus. I mean, there's just so many things now I want to get into doing with BookBrush. So very wonderful. Lots of information. Thank you.
I'm going to click also on this top stripe so that I'll put the pricing. So for those who are wondering about which plan, you can see the comparisons here. They're all paid yearly, so you'll just do one annual payment, and it compares the features for you. Gold is probably the most popular because they have Johnny's instant mock-ups in here, and that's a fan favorite. So I'd probably recommend Gold if you're not sure where to start. It's $146 a year, so with the discount, it would be $124.10. All right, just so that you got the pricing in there to check it out later. All right, I'm going to give you your screen back here.
Okay. Well, and I'm going to ask everybody to come back on, except we are going to close out. But if you have questions, we'll have it in the, definitely can look at or talk about things in the after party for a few minutes. I don't want to miss any questions and want to be sure to give you an opportunity to talk to Kathleen. Brandy, you want to tell us about next week?
Surprise. Next week is we're doing detours, is that right? Detours, yes. So we're going to do an open mic talking about writing detours. So we're going to ask people to share some writing detours that they might have had. We're going to share some of our own. So think about something that maybe you intended to do with your writing and maybe God or something else had different plans.
Yeah, sounds great. All right. I just realized I had never started my video back, so there I am. So if you're watching the replay, we do invite you to join us any Tuesday morning at 10 Central, 11 Eastern, 9 Mountain, and so forth. I think it's 5 o'clock in France. We talked about that earlier, somewhere, maybe 6 by now, I'm not sure where Isabel is. But thank you so much. Watch the replay, join our Facebook group, Writers Chat members, and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye, everybody.